So welcome everyone. My name is Vidit. I'll be your instructor for this. And now I will please want one volunteer who have faced live interview of F5. Can you please raise your hand now so that I can unmute you all and to understand what type of questions you faced in live interview. Anyone? So it's a live chance, guys, to interact with me. I'll be able to answer what type of questions you have faced and how to tackle it going forward. So please come forward. Anyone, it's not like that you have to be cautious or something. It's a live session, live mock interviews. When I talk about mock interview, I'll be taking your online interview. But today it will be vice versa. I'll be answering you and you will be my trainer. So anyone who can tell me, anyone, you can raise your hand and tell me. So here I want to understand from you whether you face issues in conceptual level, scenario based, where you face issues in life. Anyone please raise your hand or maybe let me unmute. I'll just make it interactive for you all. So anyone wanted to share his experience? Yeah, Mr. Ravi, you want to participate?
Uh, can I ask out of this box or just related to
Out of
this
the
only?
box questions will take later on. So my main focus right now would be F5.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'll come ask later.
So I'll be mostly focusing on mock interviews where you faced an interview, scenario based questions, and you were not able to answer it. Then it's my turn, then I will take some more questions. So I'll take your question later on, Ravi. So anyone wants to participate? Come on, guys, it's interactive. Let's make it interactive. It's for your benefit, it's not for my benefit. I've been working in this, I can clear interviews. But yeah, Muthu, please go ahead.
Yeah, Vidit, actually, I got that question from one of the corporate interview. Actually, the question was, there is one FI load balancer. It's load balancing
Just
the
one
most.
minute, I'll just make your scenario. So thank you, Muthu, first of all, for coming forward. So guys, first question from Muthu. Yeah, Muthu, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, there is one FI load balancer in the HA. So it's a load balancing more than 300 applications. So multiple pool members went down and got restored, means frequently. So how you will troubleshoot? That was the question from the interviewer.
Great. Thank you so much. What would be the answer from your side, Muthu? What you answered it, then I will answer.
Actually,
And
that
I want to understand the
yeah,
strategy from your side,
okay,
and then we will. So the question from Muthu was that your F5 is in HA, and there were 300 applications, and some of the application went down. That is an intermittent issues, right, Muthu?
yes,
There was not full applications which were down. And is your F5 is in my answer for would be like if someone asks this question, my answer would be first I'll ask whether it's active passive in HA from an interview. So interviewer guys, please understand, interviewer is not a god. He will first understand your approach in troubleshooting, how you approach. So first approach, Muthu, from my side would be you need to ask whether it's an active passive environment or if it's an active active. Now, please tell your answer, then I'll share my experience.
yeah. Actually, you are correct. First, we have to check the FIHA setup whether it's active or active passive. Second, if the pool members means goes down and got restored, it's related to the health monitors. Health monitors mainly relying on the control plane, not a data plane. So we have to check the CPU utilization also. Means in some time means usually FI is means detecting the pool member status based on the self IPs. So this we have to check that pool member down alerts is observed in the both the load balancer, active and passive. It's only in the active itself. So we can easily isolate the issue. It's an issue related to the any specific load balancer. It's a CPU. So that was the answer from my side to that interview.
Thank you, Muthu, for coming. So when you face this type of issues,
Uh,
when you have F5 in HA, Muthu, when you have, let's say, active passive scenario,
yeah.
so first thing you need to understand from the customer about the time frame when the
Yes.
issue occurred. And does your all application went down or intermittent issues come in? So in your case, it was an out of 300 application, I'll take 10 application.
Yes.
So if it's a box level issue, then there should be issue with all application. If it's an issue with 10 application, might be what happened on the box, you are correct. So when I talk about health monitor takes consideration of self IP. Self IP, if I talk about, it will take which self IP, not your HA self IP, but it is traffic group only that it will take consideration. That is a very good scenario which you talked about. There are two traffic groups, but your HA, when F5 is in HA, your health monitor status of both the boxes will get monitored because both the box will provide you the status. You can go in your live environment, you will see that health monitor status is available for both the boxes. You will see green pool member here also, green pool member here also. Because anytime this server should be ready if it goes down. So that is the concept. Second thing which you need to check is you have to enable, there is a feature called health monitor login. Let's say if still it is facing issue, you can enable this login feature. So just let me show you how you can enable, because that will tell you the root cause why it is happening. In your case, your answers were mostly correct, but you have to enable login feature. So there are two files which help in you troubleshooting. First, you have to go with varlog LTM file. That is the first file which you want to go and see what is the issue. If you don't find any issues with that, I'll tell you what is the another way. So first way to check whether it's an issue with device level, varlog LTM file. Your CPU and what I say, CPU RAM also matters. But if I talk about CPU, is it, let's say in your case, Muthu, was CPU high or low? That also you need to check with your interviewer. If it says that, yeah, CPU and RAM was high, like maybe resources, so RAM would not impact much because it will be your management plane level. But if your CPU utilization is high, it can cause your intermittent issues. But most of the time, which I face issues are related to CPUs, can be one of the major reason of some of the application goes down, because there will be a spike. If there is a spike, then issue can happen. But if you want to go more details, you have to go to health monitor, go to any of the health monitor which you have applied. Let's say this. First of all, you have to check the configuration part. Then I'll show you one of the pool member. Let's say this one. I have 3 pool members enable. You have to go to configuration advanced. Then there are 3 pools. First, you check the status and statistics. Now, Muthu, there are one more log file which you can see where log monitors. So this is the file which will give you an idea, like your pool members are flapping, what would be the root cause. So do you know, Muthu, where you need to go? Can you tell me, anyone? Where is the feature of login where I need to enable? There is a concept called monitor login.
It's inside the monitor configurations.
You need to go on the node and enable the monitor login.
Okay, let me check it. What he is saying. I am into it.
Monitor
Now,
logging enable. Yeah.
so who told, what's your name?
Javed.
Thank you, Javed. So this is the concept you have to enable. This will give you Muthu in more detail. So interviewer will not ask you basics nowadays. You have a 12 years experience, even you have a 5 years experience, Muthu. They would expect you need to be good in implementation plus troubleshooting plus you need to understand configuration part. People come to me that, sir, I have only 2 years experience. How I can show you 10 years experience? That leave up to me. I'll make you from 2 years experience to 10 years experience. I can help you to clear any interview, but you need to be interactive today. So thanks, Muthu. So I hope you got the answer.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other question, Muthu, which you faced in your interview? Because you are one of the experienced person. So if you can share our most other people who are working professional, any other question which you faced live?
Yeah.
One more
Actually,
question I would expect
I
from you.
got the one more question. There is a one layer
So guys,
7.
now it's a second question from one of my colleague, Muthu. Yeah, let's go with second question. So today we'll discuss about 50 questions. It's up to you or me, but we have to attend 50 questions today. Yeah, Muthu, please go ahead.
So there is a one application. It's a layer 7 application. So the VIP is configured in the FI load balancer. There is some special requirement from the customer. They want to change that. They want to means rule out that layer 7 inspection. Actually, that customer requirement is that VIP. We don't need to delete that VIP configuration, but it should not do the HTTP inspection. It would act as a layer 4 VIP. So within a short time, how you can modify that layer 7 to layer 4? That was the question from the interviewer. So actually for that question,
Thank you so much, Muthu, for your question.
Yeah.
Question was, in a live scenario production environment, there is one virtual server which is configured, which was doing HTTP, let's say. Now they don't want HTTP inspection to be turned on. But do they want any TCP related configuration, or do they want to remove this virtual server, Muthu? That you need to ask.
They need the TCP related configuration.
And so there is one thing which you can do, Muthu. What was the answer from your side, Muthu?
I said we can remove the HTTP profile from the web.
We need to remove the profile as well as we need to change the monitor to TCP.
Yeah, both the things.
Excellent. So Muthu, thank you so much for this answer. Everyone knows about this HTTP virtual server and TCP virtual server. But if you remove HTTP profile, do you really use standard virtual server in that case? Anyone?
No,
We have
we can
different
use
types of virtual
performance
server.
layer 4.
Layer 4, layer 4.
Yes.
But in that case, there will be an outage. How you can do it without impacting?
We can create new
This is
VIP.
my next question.
We can create new VIP.
Sorry, what's your name?
We
Deva,
will do
Deva.
standby, then we will switch over the traffic.
No, that is not correct. Anyone else? So question is, we have a layer 7 virtual server configured by one of our colleague, Muthu. Now customer wants to disable HTTP inspection. First of all, in this case, your answer or your question to interviewer would be cross. Answer, you can tell that you can remove HTTP profile. That is first answer. But first of all, interviewer can ask you, what would be the impact? Does it cause any impact removing HTTP profile? Anyone? If you remove HTTP profile from a virtual server, does it impact? Please think and answer.
Yes, this will impact. The application will not work.
Because we have.
But they don't want HTTP inspection in that case. For me, answer is there will be no impact if you remove HTTP profile. So in this case, interviewer wanted to simply ask you, need to remove HTTP inspection. Answer was HTTP profile. Now, next question from me is, does removing HTTP profile impact your web application? If you are accessing your virtual server on 80 or 443, if you remove HTTP profile, does it impact any application? Answer is no. There will be no impact. Only thing is your F5 will not able to detect any HTTP related headers. You cannot apply cookie, because when I talk about HTTP profile, this we have discussed many times. Profile removing does not impact anything. Profile is an extra feature which makes F5 more intelligent. You have to trace something. You have to trace a cyber criminal. So you need to have loopholes. The same way, HTTP profile helps F5 to detect what is coming in HTTP request and what is coming in HTTP response. Your URL will work. Your URL will not stop working. Only thing is, it will help F5 to see what is coming inside the HTTP packet. That's it. Got it, Murthu?
Yeah, got it.
Anyone else? Any question on this?
So later on we can change to layer 4s, right, sir?
You can do it. See, there are I don't see, that was a check question for you, but you have a standard virtual server. If you want a full proxy, by default, you want a full proxy. In that case, I would suggest you to go with standard virtual server only. If you don't want full proxy architecture, then you can go with performance layer 4 also.
Okay.
But if you're not facing any performance issues or something, then I would suggest you to go with standard virtual server with TCP profile. That's it.
Okay.
You don't need to change any of the things on your F5. That's my suggestion, because it's just try to understand the basics what interviewer agenda is. It was just asking to disable HTTP inspection. So impact can be, now I will talk about impact. Yes, it can impact. First, I told you there will be no impact, but there can be impact if your application is using cookie, if your load balancing is happening based on cookie persistence, then it can impact it. If your application works, your load balancing based on persistence profile, in that case, really it can impact. So that can be one answer. Second, what can be another impact of removing HTTP profile? Anyone?
iGools won't work if we have
Excellent.
existing.
Excellent. This is the second impact. You need to first check this, whether are you using iRules in your virtual server or are you using any cookie-based persistence. That are the two impacts which can cause when removing HTTP profile. That's it.
And also the SSL offload.
SSL offloading depends. It does not work on HTTP profile. Removing HTTP profile will not impact SSL. Anyone wants to answer it? Do you agree with me, anyone? If I remove HTTP profile, does it impact HTTPS traffic? That's another good question asked by what's your name, please?
Javed.
Okay, Javed question is, this can be one of the live interview question. Does HTTP profile remove impact your SSL traffic?
No.
Let's say you have a virtual server with 443. Does HTTP profile remove can impact your SSL traffic? Anyone?
I think if the SSL certificate is offloaded on the backend server, it might impact it. The
So
page
this
might
is
break.
my question. It's my question from you need to answer yes or no. You
If certificate is
don't
on
need to
server, it
ask
will break the page.
right
Yeah.
or something. When you answer it, you ask interviewer that right? It will impact. I need an answer, a correct answer in. You can explain me, but customer or interviewer will ask crisp answer for your question. If you go in detail, this, sometimes interviewer will get frustrated. My simple question is, does HTTP profile removal impact your SSL traffic? That's a simple question for you.
No.
Anyone? Come on. You
No.
all are working in F5s.
No.
No.
Anyone says yes? So answer is no. There is no dependency of removing HTTP profile with SSL because there is a separate profile for it. Client SSL and server SSL. So someone was asking backend if you're doing SSL offloading. No, it will not impact. There is a separate profile which help you to detect your client SSL and server SSL. There is no dependency of SSL traffic on HTTP profile. Only if you're using cookie persistence and iRule, that would be impact. So that is the question number 4 for you. Now, next question, anyone wants to come? See, most of the people have given interviews related to firewall and load balancer, I know. But please come and you can ask load balancer question also. You can ask WAF question also. That are the two technologies which I am discussing today. Anyone?
I I have
Yeah.
I have one scenario like the application team the from customer
Just 1 minute. Just
yeah
1 minute, Deva.
yeah
So question number 5. I'll just note down here. I'll just go into whiteboard.
yeah
Yeah.
the,
Deva,
the
please go
scenario
ahead. Thanks.
the
Thank you
scenario
so much.
yeah the scenario they're telling it was a performance issue intermediate issue they reported. It has two backend pools. It is configured with the source persistence address persistence of 30 minutes. But they are facing slowness issue. But what they did from application side, what they did, they bypassed the load balancer and they checked it directly to the server. They confirmed it is working fine. And now they reported it is issue with the load balancer. We need to configure sticky and fix the issue. So that is the yeah. But when we but that is configured with the performance layer 4. So when we capture TCP time, I am not familiar with this. I'm new to this source persistence and cookies thing. So I checked in the pool persistence table. I can see only to the one node we are getting traffic. So really, I don't know the answer for this. I just want to update you. This is the one scenario. How can we proceed on this? It is
So
ongoing. Monday I
very
need
good question.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
good question you asked. So question is, they have two servers. Deva has two servers, means one of the application is hosted in two servers. What he is saying is they are facing intermittent issues. And you are using source address persistence. And the virtual server which they are using is performance layer 4. So what can be answer anyone? Do we need to use cookie persistence? Can we use cookie persistence in performance layer 4?
No,
No.
we can use in standard
Layer 7.
layer 7, yes.
So Deva, sticky persistence you cannot use in performance layer 4, first of all.
Okay.
Source address persistence you can use because source address persistence works on IP based. Okay, you can apply
Okay.
IP based persistence, but when you talk about performance issues, you need to first ask, did you remove or disable one of the server?
Yes.
I
Yes. We
agree
disable.
that I agree you bypassed F5, that's okay. But what are the troubleshooting things which you checked from F5? See, cookie persistence changing will not help here. Now you need to look over F5 point of view. You understood, okay, let's say there is an issue with F5. Now your approach should be, you face this issue, first of all, your approach should be bypass F5. That you have done it. That is the first step which you need to do. That is 100% correct. If you bypass F5, that can help you to understand whether it's an F5 issue or not. But second solution which you can do Deva, is you disable or force offline one of the server to check whether it's an issue with this or this. Did you did that?
Yes. Yeah,
Not
that we
not
did. That
okay.
we did. That also worked. After doing disabling node, also it is working. Up to that, it is stopped now.
Now third thing, did you disable source address persistence?
No, no, no. This is
So
not
do
it.
one thing, if it's working with this, so anyone, he says that one of the server, if they disable it works fine. Anyone say that if there is an issue with one of the server, does it cause intermittent issue? Anyone? Let's say I have two applications who are taking traffic from my client, but one of the server is causing an issue. It is going down, or might be there is an issue on application side. So does it cause intermittent issues?
Yes, it cause because one of the server may be the problematic server. So we need to find which server is a problematic.
But they have source address persistence applied. Then why intermittent issue is coming?
Currently, in one node only, we are seeing traffic. Only one node.
Traffic is seeing on both the nodes. It is intermittent, right, Deva?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. It's intermediate.
yeah, because maybe the few of the users only getting the issue because because it is a source persistence. The like Vidit and me both are trying to get access to these two servers, but I'm facing a issue, but Vidit is not facing. That means because of the source persistent, I'm hitting to the wrong server, which is creating a problematic. So we need to identify which one is the problematic. So one by one, we need to disable it and find exactly which server is causing an issue.
Yeah. That we did, right? We did a failover test to one node, we disabled and we checked it. Vice versa, we have performed it. Now it came to the point they if they're bypassing the VIP, they can access OT issue. So I need
I
to
think Deva, you are
do
breaking it. So do
packet
one
caps.
thing, Deva. So Vinay answer is 100% correct, Deva. What you need to
Yeah.
do is, in that case, remove source address persistence. Remove one
Okay.
of the server, ask them to resolve issue of one of the server. Cookie
Okay.
persistence will not help you. What happening is, some of the source address are going to one of the server which is down. Some of the servers which is up are going to that request. That request are working fine. So there are two solutions for you. Packet capture.
Okay.
See, packet capture will not help much here. In your case,
Yes.
you have disabled one of the server, everything is working fine that you have confirmed.
Okay. Yes.
So definitely there is an issue with one of the server which is culprit. In that case, ask them to resolve that issue and then try to check the traffic without persistence. Once everything is working fine, you check the health of both the servers. Then you enable source address persistence. But in your case, there is no concept of cookie persistence, sticky persistence. They want persistence, only thing they can use source address, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other interview question which you faced? Question number 6 from anyone? So these questions are really benefiting you. These are the live questions which they are facing it. So one of the question from my side now. Let's say I'm using SSL bridging. Question number 6. I have an F5. I have 3 servers. Server 1, server 2, server 3. Now I have client 1, client 2 who are accessing a URL called sianets.com. And I am using one of the persistence also, let's say cookie based persistence. Now I have saying that when you are doing SSL bridging, in that case, you need certificates on F5 also. You need certificates on server side also. So what would be the certificate which you will be using on server side? Anyone? We know that in F5 we have CA signed certificates. But when I talk about SSL bridging, it's an end-to-end encryption. See, this is not a training which I'm giving today, but I'm just showing you the experience which people face. You have a F5 certificate CA signed, but you need a certificate on server side. Which certificate will be used here?
The same certificate, actually, yeah, the copy of the same certificate.
Let's say if I use, what is the advantage of using same certificate and what is the advantage of using different certificate? Anyone?
It will reduce the workload. If we are generating the CSR on the F5, it's sufficient. We don't need to generate the CSR on the server side. So if we are using the different certificate, we have to use create the two different CSRs. Like in the F5 side, we have to create one.
I don't agree on that. What would be the impact? Question number 6. This was the question number 6. What certificate you will be using on F5 and server? That you told that same certificate should be used. Anyone has different opinion?
Things we can't use the same certificate on backend server.
Okay, so you all agree on same certificate. Now question number 7 is, just 1 minute. If I use different certificate, I'm using CA signed certificate here. Let's say I use self-signed certificate or not self-signed. Let's say different certificate from internal server. Let's say I'm using one of the internal server I have. I'm using that trusted certificate here. What would be impact if I'm using CA signed here? If I'm using different certificate here?
No impact.
Anyone else? Sorry.
One question regarding the US statement. Can we use the same certificate because if we are using the FI
The
certificate?
answer is correct. Same certificate we should use as per best practice. We can use. There is no impact. You can take a CA signed certificate and apply it on your server. That many people are following it. My question is, if I use different certificate, what would be the impact?
No impact. Actually, the FI certificate further towards the client SSL.
Sir, the key must be the same with the both end. Public key must be the same with the both end. Then it will be synced.
Sir, I am talking about impact of using different certificate. Please think and answer it. It's a very critical question. Please think and answer it.
If we are using different certificate, it may create additional latency because even though it is going to get encrypted.
No.
Certificate clean won't be complete.
Sorry?
The certificate clean won't be complete. It should have a root certificate as
No.
It won't be any issue because the CS certificate will be the client to F5, the front end, and the backend, another certificate from F5 to backend server.
Yes.
So we can use the both certificate without any impact.
Anyone else? Any correct answer from anyone? See, that is how live interviews goes. They will come with something else. No one is able to answer. Anyone who can answer this? We have around 70 people, 75 people. Anyone face this issue? So what is your suggestion? Anyone? Do you use same certificate or do you use separate certificate?
So in DMZ environment, we use a different certificate. So in DMZ environment, external will be signed by external CA, and for internal server, it will be signed by our internal CA. So in this situation, there won't be any impact because here there are two different connections. One is external, and the second connection will be from F5 to the backend server.
Okay. Anyone can tell me impact. I want an impact answer. I'm looking for impact. One answer for impact.
The backend traffic could fail if the F5 does not trust the server certificate.
Okay. Anyone else?
So it may reject the connection.
Yes, F5 can't get from server.
So answer is, one of the person answered it that it can cause overhead. That's okay. But for me, according to me, as per best practice, that's okay. You can use same certificate or different certificate. That totally depends on customer requirement. But what is happen is, let's say this certificate, if you are using same certificate, you have a good track. If this certificate expired, if you renew it, it will get automatically. You can just the things. But if one of the certificate expires here, then there will be a flow break. If you are using the same certificate, the dates, the same thing, will get the notification, you can ask them to change it here quickly. But in case your F5 certificate got expired, but you are using different certificate here, then how you will catch the flow difference? Anyone? Does it cause any impact if I use different certificate? Is this answer correct?
Yes, correct, correct. Thank you.
So this is how you need to be careful. But best thing, see, I'm not saying you have to be little track in that case. It can break a flow. If you're using same certificate, then you have a track. It will give you more visibility. No impact should be there. But if you're using different certificate, if one of the server certificate got expired, there will be a flow break. You will not come to know, because we are not tracking server certificates, right? From F5 we can track it. Which certificate is getting expired, I'll get notification. But do we track server certificate which are getting expired? So that is why best suggestion is to use same certificate. If you're using different certificate, then you have a mechanism where you can track it. That is the thing which I wanted to explain.